Hey, what's up you guys? If you're going to be towing a trailer with your Fiat 500c, you're going to need trailer wiring. It's required by the law. So let's go ahead and break down that install for you. All right, our first step is to gain access to our taillights. That's where we will be plugging in our trailer wiring harness. So we're going to start on the driver's side, and using a Phillips screwdriver, we're going to go ahead and take those off. Now, using a trim panel removal tool, we're just going to slide it in behind the tail light right here, and that will pop out these two pins. And we're going to unplug the tail light by pulling up on the tab and pulling out. And we'll repeat on the passenger side. All right, now back on the driver's side, we're going to go ahead and take our wiring harness and plug in our T-connector with the yellow wire. All right, using the included tap screw, we're going to go ahead and use a 1/4 inch socket, and we're going to ground our trailer wiring harness. Next, we're going to hook up our power wire to our black wire on our converter box. And we're going to use a heat shrink butt connector to connect those. All right, using our butane torch, we're going to go ahead and heat shrink it. Right now, we're going to take the rest of our wires and we're going to feed it inside the bumper, and we're just going to route it towards the center. And you're going to want to make sure you go over the bumper support to avoid the exhaust. As you can see, even though you go over the bumper support, you still kind of get close to the exhaust. So we're going to continue to bring it over some wires inside the bumper to keep it away from anything hot. And you're just going to want to make sure you get all those wires out and over. All right, we're going to leave our power wire and our 4-flat right here in this position, and we're going to take our other T connector with the green and red wire, and we're going to run it the same way towards the passenger side. All right, we're going to go ahead and plug it into our passenger side harness. And now we're going to go ahead and clean up and secure the rest of our wires using zip ties. And we're zip tying it to the hitch. All right, we're gonna put the converter box inside the bumper, and then we'll go ahead and put our taillights back on. And we'll repeat on the passenger side. All right, for our 4-flat to work, we're gonna need to hook up our power wire to a power source. So we're gonna have to run it towards the battery to the front of the vehicle. All right, so we're gonna want to avoid the exhaust. So we're gonna come over the top here. And as you can see, we have the brake lines all right here. We're gonna bring it up over and follow those brake lines all the way down to the firewall. All right, so we flipped the car around to give you a better view. We've reached the firewall, and as you can see, there's not a lot of room. So we found an alternate route through the driver's side wheel well that will bring us right up, right behind the front headlight. All right, so inside the driver's side wheel well, we're gonna go ahead and remove this 10mm nut. So with that nut off and our wires pushed up, we can go ahead and reach back into there, and that gives us access to our wire. All right, once you have it all tight, we're gonna go ahead and remove this nut using a 10mm socket towards the front of the wheel well. Now towards the front of the driver's side wheel well, we're gonna go ahead and remove this panel right here by pushing down on this clip. Now we're going to route the wire above the stud that we just removed and route it towards this hole. All right, now we're going to take this extra wire and we're going to tuck it in on the top of the wheel well. Now that our wire is all tucked up in the fender and out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take the remaining wire and we're going to push it right back through that panel hole that we opened up, and that will push it right into the firewall next to the battery. All right, now with our wire all in place inside the wheel well, we're going to go ahead and put our panel back into place and put the 2 nuts that we removed back into place. All right, right here in the engine compartment, the battery is located on the driver's side. Our wire is right here, right next to it. So we're just gonna route it down here underneath the negative terminal. And as you can see, we have a lot of extra length. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut it, as we don't need that much. All right, so we're gonna need to hook it up to the positive terminal right here. Now we're going to be using the included fuse holder. So using our heat shrink butt connector, we'll go ahead and hook it up to our battery wire. And then on the other end of our battery wire, we'll put our heat shrink terminal. And using our butane torch, we're going to go ahead and heat shrink those connectors. Now with our connections made, we're going to go ahead and connect it to our battery terminal, and we're going to unscrew that nut using a 10mm socket. All right, now we'll go ahead and attach our terminal ring to the battery post. All right, now with the fuse holder connected, we're going to insert the included 15 amp fuse, and then we'll tuck it in behind the battery, and then we'll put the terminal cover back on. Our last step is to go ahead and mount our 4-flat bracket. A lot of people just like to leave it dangling. Don't leave it dangling because it can cause problems to your vehicle's wiring and to your trailer wiring if it gets damaged that way. So we're going to go ahead and use a mounting bracket. This is not included with the kit. This is U-Haul part number CQT 118144. And we're going to go ahead and drill 2 holes in the bottom of the bumper and use 2 screws to mount that. And we're going to use a 3/16 drill bit to drill that out. And we're going to go ahead and put the included screws into those holes. And using the provided nut, we'll go ahead and secure it. And then we'll tighten it down using a 10mm socket. Now we'll just put our 4-flat harness into place, and we'll put the dust cover on. And then we'll take the rest of our wire and we'll go ahead and clean it up, and we're just going to zip tie it to the hitch. All right guys, that wraps up our install. Thank you for watching our video. Have fun, be safe, and enjoy the outdoors.